Hey guys, Somebody's Gun here. Today, we're going to be showing you how to play on high ping, and this is going to be brought to you by MrSavage. He's coming fresh off of first place victory in the Solo Cash Cup last week in EU. Then, this week, in NA East, he took 15th place, which is by no means an easy thing to do. And he's playing on high ping because he's an EU player playing on NA East. So I'm going to show you and break down, talk through some of the reasons why what he is doing is so vital and how it can help you if you play on high ping, or even if you just want to play better in general, how what he's doing is going to help you become a better player. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. I know ping has always been an issue for certain players, hasn't really been for others, but if you guys do enjoy the video, make sure to click that like button and subscribe to my channel. Let's get right to it. The first piece we're going to be looking at here is how MrSavage immediately is using a double box, a 2x1, whatever you want to call it. He's immediately getting the first damage in this fight, but because he knows he has a ping disadvantage, he's not trying to play too aggressively. He's always playing from what I'm going to call his home box. He has a home box that's going to be a 2x1 and then consistently work to stay within that and take shots out of it. On EU, he's going to be more aggressive, but on off ping, he knows that he can't go grab walls and grab pieces, grab builds. He needs to play from already built walls and then use edit plays and sneaky angles to go take shots on players. And that's exactly what he does here. He's patient, plays within his box. This is a first game of a Cash Cup, and MrSavage is playing passively within this box. Building this 2x1 is going to give him angles and different areas where he can get shots, like we just saw here, to look for different opportunities. Here's another example of Savage building a 2x1 as soon as an engagement starts. We see this is where he wants to play fights from. He's going to get comfortable, build himself a place to work with, and give himself a place to back up. So not only can he aggro, but he can also be defensive within this box. He can look for shots, and bad players are going to be jumping into your box and making mistakes. Those were fully Savage's builds besides the top, which then allowed him to get those shots off. And another big piece that quickly touch on, Savage always goes home. He's now back in this home box, his 2x1 here, to go play from once again. He doesn't want to go crazy and get ahead of himself. This clip is going to be a combination of using the home box as well as consistently putting himself on the outside of engagements within two opponents. So what do I mean by that? So as you see, he's already built himself a box to play out of. And there's going to be multiple players in here. So let me slow this down. There's many players here in Lazy Lake, and MrSavage is always putting himself on the outside or away from the multiple players in these engagements. He understands, again, I don't want to be in between two players, which will then force him to get sandwiched or pinched and put himself in an overall bad position. So he sees another player coming, quickly lets that player know he's here, and then allows his home base to continue to build. He's not looking to get into a 2v1 situation, even though it's not a straight 2v1. And this can be seen from many players. It's not simply just Savage that does this, and it's not simply something that's only done on high ping, but this is going to be one of the keys that Savage shows us that is going to help him be more successful. And we can see now he is not the player in between. He was for a second in between these two players, but he has worked these couple of boxes that he's built, his home box, and forced the players to get into an engagement between the two while safely staying within his metal builds. Now, he doesn't wind up picking up both of these eliminations. He just narrowly misses one and actually gets the other one. He easily could have gotten both. But this is just another example of his patience of play within the game, as well as understanding exactly how to play these fights. You don't want to be jumping into engagements blindly, and watching MrSavage's gameplay is the best example of that. He actually waits until these two players get into a full engagement and then decides to go clean it up. Again, he could have easily gotten both of those eliminations, but rather be safe than sorry here and allow those two players to weaken each other as much as possible, hit that final shot, and fully clean up the fight, walk away, and you can go ahead and get some more eliminations, get some more placement. Savage is also really good at picking fights. So here he tries to sneak a player and doesn't connect on the initial damage, so he tries to disengage this fight. But you're not always going to be able to disengage fights, and Savage realizes that. He then is going to fully commit to this fight, knowing, okay, it is now too late. And what he does here is then build a lot of space for him to work with. We see the home base being built there, but a lot of what he is doing is really just building and placing pieces for him to play around. And this is what's going to win him this fight here. Because this player is super aggressive, Savage knows he can bait this player into coming into Savage's builds. So Savage is going to have the full piece control advantage, and it's not going to be ping based because all of the builds are already his. He's simply just waiting for this player to make mistakes, take the wrong angles, and then punish this player. And this is easily doable by anyone. You just have to know how and when to take those shots and where to position yourself to where you're not putting yourself in harm's way. Now, what are the right plays? What are the right angles? It's going to be the right hand peaks as well as fully built boxes that are all of your pieces. So if we just pause this for a second, take a look at this box. Everything within this space here belongs to MrSavage. That player, besides this top piece here, jumped fully into a box that was not his, and Savage took full control of it and dominated that player, punished him for making the wrong plays, and that is another reason why he is so good on high ping. It doesn't have to be walls placed in an instant. Walls can be placed ahead of time and then properly played around like we just saw MrSavage do. So another piece is going to be preemptive piece control. And we'll see this here from Savage, who's going to head and grabbing walls before the player can even see him. Then, this play right here, where he potentially drops the player and then cones him, could have been an amazing play. We'll go ahead, watch this back once again, and slow it down here. So Savage drops the player in, and if it weren't for this bush right here, he's going to be dropped into this box. And even without a huge ping advantage, this player's trying to catch himself and not going to be placing walls. Savage places the wall, then the cone in the box, and uses the harpoon to break the floor right away. And if Savage doesn't miss on this edit and grabs the cone, this player is dropped into a full box that is MrSavage's. Unfortunately, he's going to grab this wall and not connect on the edit. But this show of preemptive piece control can be done by a lot of players, and a lot of opponents will not expect your pieces to be already built if they're not seeing you build them as soon as they're getting to those spots. Here's an example of an elimination anyone can get, and it has absolutely nothing to do with ping. This is all position based. MrSavage has went ahead, taken this high position on zone, and knows that players are going to be rotating late. He sees them fighting, and instead of rotating and waiting for those players to get in, all he really does is take a couple of shots, he gets some good information, he one-taps the one player, and then the other player is two-tapped. So anyone can go ahead and grab those eliminations. All you have to do is know where to position yourself properly. And that's what Savage is so good at. He was able to wait, be patient, knowing you had the position, an easy rotate into the next zone. Then just go and punish players who are on edge and fighting, knowing that they're probably weak and going to be a free elimination for you. Another huge key to Savage's success is the use of the harpoon. And because it doesn't matter if you're on 100 ping, 3000 ping, a harpoon is able to break wood walls in one hit, brick walls really quickly, and you could just jump in boxes of unknowing or unwitting players. Savage uses this time and time again to break wood walls, to break recently built brick or metal, and takes it to full advantage. It's a great play, so that way he can still have his weapon out and potentially shoot as quick, if not faster, than the other player who is still reacting to somebody within his builds. Now, again, the use of the harpoon to break builds, and it easily allows Savage to take high ground. This is another play that anyone can make without needing great ping. He simply identifies the player on height, puts them in a poor position, and then they are on the back foot. He's now taken high ground here in endgame, and this game is all but his. As long as he can effectively hold height, there is no one that can take it from him, and it doesn't matter what your ping is, you will be able to hold high ground if you know what to do, and that's going to be pressure the nearest players. Watch out for anyone that is potentially trying to sneak on front side or back side of zone, and force engagements between players. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and learned something from watching MrSavage place 15th on NA East. Those are just some of the highlights, so if you want to go watch the entire VOD review, you can go check it out on my Twitch at twitch.tv/somebodiesgun. Now, when we're talking about playing on high ping, it's nothing groundbreaking, right? It's really getting good at the fundamentals and not looking to take ping-based engagements. We see Savage do this so well throughout this entire 10, or I believe it's 9 games. So, again, if you guys learned something, make sure to click on that subscribe button. I'm Somebody's Gun. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.